So we're going to continue to draw some number lines based on some intervals here. So it says illustrate each of the following with number lines. So our first one here, we have negative infinity to -3 with the union of 2 to 4. So let's make sure that we're using the correct circles for the corresponding brackets. So here I have -3 with a square bracket. That means I'm including it. I use a closed circle and I'm going all the way to negative infinity. So I make sure I put an arrow there. Then I've got the union of 2 to 4. Well, 2 has a round bracket, so it's an open circle, and I'm going all the way to 4, and 4 has a square bracket, so I put a closed circle just like that. And that's what my answer is going to be for this one. So if you ever are given a union type interval, you're just going to have 2 portions of the number line there. We move on to our next one here, and again, I have -2, a negative infinity to -2. -2 has a square bracket, so I put a closed circle, and I go all the way that way, and then I have 2 to infinity. So 2 will be here, infinity will be there. Again, I'm using an open circle because I have a round bracket. All right, we move on to our next one here. This one's a little trickier, and I'm actually going to do this in 2 steps. So the first thing that we have to notice is that it's an interval question. It's an intersection question, not a union question. So the intersection means I only want to draw where these things intersect. That's all I want. But you have to be careful when you're doing this. So let's take it slow and see how we go with it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw each section. So let me draw this first part here. So -3 to -2, and I'm including both of them. So it's going to be that, like this. Then I'm going to draw this part. So this is -1 to 4. So -1 to 4. Everything has square brackets, which makes our lives a bit easier. And now what I want is just where they intersect, right? It's an intersection problem. So that means what my final answer is going to be well, from here to here. Oh, sorry, just a bit. From here to there. That is going to be my answer. So I'm going from -1 to 2. And do you see how this is the part in which they intersect? So that right there, everyone, is my answer. These aren't my answers. So this green and orange line aren't my answers. Only the blue line is. But we just use those green and orange lines to help me see where they intersect. All right, you might like to pause the video and see if you can do the next one yourself. I'm going to use the same technique. So I've got -6 all the way to 0. I'm using the correct circles there. Then I'm going to go -3 to 2, -3 to 2. I've got 2 open circles there. All right, now we have to figure out where these things intersect, right? It's an intersection problem. Well, this here, 0, do you see how they both have 0 here? I've got a closed circle and then just like a normal line there. Over here, but what's happening at -3? Am I going to put an open circle or a closed circle here? That is the important question we have to ask ourselves. Now, do you see how they're actually not both overlapping here? Because I've got an open circle, which means I'm not including -3. So what you're going to do here is you're going to put an open circle there and then go all the way to there. So this is saying that it's intersecting everywhere that's greater than -3, but not including -3. So just really important that you stop and think about whether or not they're intersecting, especially if you've got an open circle. So very important there. All right, let's keep on moving. Our 2 last ones here. Let's see how we go with them. So we have all real numbers excluding -1. So it's all real numbers excluding -1. How would I write this as a number line? Well, I would come to -1 and I would put an open circle there, and then I would just draw arrows to either side of it. So this is saying don't include -1. That's why I've got an open circle there. We're not including it, but we're including everything else. So that's what it's going to look like. A little funny looking, but that's what it's going to be. Next, it says using one number line represents these sets. So we've got a couple different things going on here, and we're just going to show it all on this one number line. So I've got -2 to 3. So that's going to be -2 to 3, like that. And then, do you see how it says all real numbers excluding -2 to 3? All real numbers excluding these things. So that means it's also going to be this. So I want to include it, but then I don't want to include it as well. So at the end of the day, this consists of all real numbers. It's just the way in which they're asking me to draw it. And the reason why they've specified to use one number line is because you see how I had to actually go above it a little bit, and that's fine. We're just doing what the question asks. And you might run across some of these when doing your homework. Hopefully you now feel comfortable with interval notations, transferring your knowledge to the inequality notations and closed circle, open circles, round brackets, and square brackets. All great stuff right there.